It's a new book that's just come out very recently, just a couple of months ago. And it's written by my most favorite writer, Sudha Murthy. Okay? And Sudha Murthy's new book is called Grandparents' Bag of Stories. Now, this book, Sudha Murthy wrote during the period called lockdown. I want everyone to be mute, children, because the background sounds do bother us, okay? Please, everyone mute. So she wrote this book during lockdown. And who are those main characters in Sudha Murthy's books? There is Ajji and Ajja. Ajji is grandma and Ajja is grandpa. And where do Ajji and Ajja stay? They stay in a little town called Shigaon, which is in Karnataka. And because they stay in a small town, their daughters, kids, their grandchildren are now coming to visit them because it's difficult in Mumbai, it's difficult in Bengaluru because it's lockdown time. You can't get out, the schools are closed, you constantly have to put your sanitizers and wash your hands and isolate yourself, right? You know all these words? And those who were unfortunate to even get COVID, they had to be quarantined, right? They had to be quarantined. You know the meaning of quarantine?
Yes, ma'am.
Quarantine, who can answer? What is the meaning of quarantine?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Quarantine is when a person stays away from his or her family members or friends and stays in a room alone and doesn't use the things, the public things or that family
Very good.
also use.
Excellent. And listen, remember that quarantine is not just for those who've had COVID, because right now it's only COVID, but it can happen to anyone. So let's say that you have a bad bout of flu and your parents say, please stay in your room, stay in a separate bed and rest for a while, and then when you're better, you can come out, right? Okay.
They need to be isolated.
They need to be isolated, that's right, okay. So now Ajji and Ajja are actually very happy because all the grandchildren have come from Mumbai and Bangalore and they're staying with them in Shigaon. And the story that I'm going to do with you, the first one is called, okay, children, mute please, The Magic Beans or Jaggu Beanstalk. Now, you know Jack and the Beanstalk story, you've done it when you were little children. But please remember, this is not the Jack and the Beanstalk story. This is Jaggu and the Beanstalk. Jaggu. So, one morning, Ajji called all the children, okay? And she said, children, remember, lockdown has begun. We have to listen to our Prime Minister. We have to do everything that he's asked us to do. You have to wash your hands many times. You have to not touch your face and your mouth. And if you're feeling unwell, please tell me right away. And Ajja said, listen, children, we don't have anyone in the house to help us now. This means that we have to help Ajji. I'm sure all of you, when you have been here at home in lockdown, you've been helping your mums and dads to do everything, right? And the daddies have also been helping the mamas. Not just you, the daddies have taken over. They've started doing some cooking in the house. They've also been doing jharu pocha. I know lots of daddies. I'm sure daddies have been helping, right? Whose daddies have been helping in the house? All hands will go up, I'm sure. Yes. And then Ajji says, yes, we can't rely on anyone from outside. All you children are going to be given jobs to do. And then Ajja's sister, Kamlu, she's also going to be there. She's looking after the kitchen, okay? And she's going to monitor everything in the running of the household. So Ajji said, okay, Raghu, you are going to help Ajji clean and vacuum the house. Krishna, you're going to help doing the dishes. बर्तन करने तुमने कृष्णा said बर्तन मुझे नहीं अच्छा लगता पानी में सारा दिन हाथ अंदर रखना. Ajji said, listen, Krishna, it's your job. You have to do it. And then Anushka and Aditi were told, you have to do all the washing machine stuff, the laundry. And Meenu, you are going to help Kamlu Ajji in the kitchen and you're going to pluck all the vegetables, bring them in, wash, chop. And Ajja said, Arey, children, you never know. You may find it a lot of fun, to work together. So the children says, yes, Ajji, Ajja, we will do our jobs. So Veenu went with Kamlu Aji to pick up vegetables from the garden. And she was very happy. Arey, Kamlu Aji, tomatoes, kaddu, itna bada kaddu hai. And lots of green vegetables. But there were no cabbages, no cauliflowers, and no potatoes. So Kamlu Aji says, Meenu, look at the green beans. They're so fresh. Go. Meenu picked them up from the bush. It's very easy. Today we're going to make tomato rice, roti, and a sabzi made of green beans. So Meenu started plucking the beans, and soon that big tokri was full of beans. They came home, and Meenu started washing the beans in the sink. Everybody was busy doing their work, cleaning, cooking, dishwashing, bartan majna, kapde dhona, jharu lagana, pocha lagana. Back-breaking job, hai na? What is it called? Back-breaking. What does it mean when it's back-breaking? Kamar dukhti hai na? You know how all these ladies do that job every day? You know, Nisa ma'am, we don't realize that those people who've been coming to our homes, our helpers, they work so hard and their backs must be hurting too. And now all through the year, when we've been doing jharu, pocha, sweeping and swabbing, we've realized how difficult a job it has been for them too. So
Ma'am,
now,
we used to
yes,
we used to give some stuff to our helper,
yes.
Susma Didi, and we have been given before lockdown.
Okay, all right. So once all the children came and sat down to play, and Ajji and Ajja were chatting, and then they said, you know what? We have to collect some dry ration for all those people who don't have food in their homes. So what did they do? They called Damu Bhaiya, one of their other cousins. Damu Bhaiya used to stay in the next door house, and Damu Bhaiya said, listen, I am going to get big cartons and you have to help us to make little bags. We're going to put dry ration, which means rice, dal, atta, and maybe some biscuits, some milk powder, and we're going to make these packets, and Rehmat Chacha will come, and Rehmat Chacha will go and distribute these packets to people in the village, those who don't have dry ration. Okay? So then Rehmat Chacha came and he picked up all the bags and he went off. Now they were all sitting and chatting again, the children. So Anushka said, Ajji, that bean sabzi we made now was really delicious. मैंने तो 3 कटोरियां खा लिया है, 3 big bowls. So Meenu said, yes, I know. It was so easy to pluck from the bush. And but you know what? If Kamlu Aji tells me to go and get coconuts from the tree, I'm not going to climb up and get coconuts. So
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yes.
Ma'am, I didn't understand who is Kamlu Aji.
Okay, I'll tell you. Kamlu Aji is the sister of Ajja. Okay? Kamlu Aji is the sister of Ajja. Ajja is grandpa. Okay? So grandpa ki behan thi Kamlu Aji. So one of the children, the grandchildren, Raghu, he says, Ajji, why aren't coconuts found at the top of the tree while the beans grow in a tiny shrub? So Ajji said, Arey, Raghu, there is a reason for that. Raghu said, Ajji, what is the reason? It all began with a beanstalk. And now Ajji is going to tell the story. Here is the story that Ajji tells. Okay, so Anita and Jaggu, husband and wife, they lived on a little farm. Anita worked very hard, but her husband बहुत lazy था, आलसी. She would tell her husband every day, "Arey Jaggu, if you help me a little, we can do a lot of work together. I can't do everything by myself. My back hurts, my arms hurt. We are very poor farmers. Please help me so that we can have a much better life." Jaggu would never listen. Poor Anita would do whatever she could. She worked hard, she grew the vegetables, she went to the mandi, she sold them there, and the money was just about enough to take care of the house and khana pina kapda. One day, by coming back from the market, there was a loud thunder, जोरदार बारिश हुई. चलो जी हम थोड़ी सी बारिश की आवाज करते. Rain, let's do the sound of rain. गरम करो.
अपनी वीडियो तो
Come on, everyone, let's do that. Okay, let's do it very quickly. Garaam Guru, we're going to do Thanda first. Garaam Guru. And then there was a heavy downpour, Zordar Barish. And Anita was passing by a very small house. And she decided, अरे बारिश हो रही है, मैं थोड़ी देर रुक जाती हूँ. Let me take some shelter in this little house. So she saw an old man. एक बूढ़ा आदमी था. वो खाना बना रहा था. He was cooking. And he said, बेटा बैठ जाओ मेरे साथ, रुक जाओ. It's raining very heavily. You wait for a while for the rain to stop and then you can carry on. So he says, बहन जी, बेटा मुझे लगता है ये बारिश रुकने नहीं वाली. You come inside. You eat with me before you go. तुम्हें भूख लगी होगी, थोड़ा सा हम दोनों खाना खा लेते, and then you can leave. So now Anita was very thankful. This old man was so kind, and she gave him some vegetables that she had bought from the market, which she was taking back home. But बारिश तो रुकने का नाम ही नहीं ले रही थी. It just wouldn't stop. So Anita and the old man started talking. दोनों बातचीत करने लगे. Anita told the man about her farm, all her problems. मेरा जो आदमी है ना जग्गू जरा भी काम नहीं करता. He's very lazy. क्या करूं? And she suddenly found a little connection with this old man. It's almost as if she was talking to her own father and sharing her problems with him. So this old man smiled. I say, and he listened to her. And after 1 hour, finally the rain stopped. And before she left, what did the old man do? He gave her one seed of a green bean. And he said, Anita beta, ये जो seed है ना, बहुत ही unusual. It's very unusual. Grow this. And when this grows, you will get a delicious new vegetable. You can sell it in the market. This will fetch you more money because it's a very different vegetable. Now, children, can you tell me any names of vegetables that are very different and very unique in our country? No, हमें बहुत कम मिलते हैं. Okay, yes, Arjun. Yes,
can you tell fruits also?
No, I'm talking about vegetables. Let's stick to vegetables. Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am.
Yes, Aditya Sharma. Yes.
Ma'am, this is my brother's ID. I am Avika Sharma.
Okay.
Ma'am, broccoli also found.
Yes, very good. I was waiting for that. Broccoli is an unusual vegetable. Most people don't really eat it at home on a regular basis. Okay. Anyone else who would like to answer?
I love broccoli.
Okay, yes, Rima Sood. Okay,
I also love broccoli.
Okay, Rima Sood would like to answer. Rima Sood, yes.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Rashi Sood.
Okay, Rashi, tell me please.
Ma'am, red and yellow capsicum.
Yes, they're called bell peppers. What are they called? Bell peppers. Yes, red and yellow capsicum. Okay, anyone else?
Ma'am, me.
Yes, me. Who is the me? Can you tell me your name, beta? Arsha.
Arshia.
Yes, okay. Yes.
Ma'am, cabbage and lettuce.
Purple cabbage, not regular cabbage. पत्ता गोभी तो हमें हमेशा मिलती है. But purple cabbage is a little different and unique. Chinese purple cabbage. What else did you say, Arsha? Lettuce. Now lettuce is very common, but there is something called iceberg lettuce, which is used in continental food, which हम India में ज़्यादा खाते नहीं है रोज because we like eating Indian style food, right? Okay, so let's come back.
Spring onion.
So, yes, spring onions. Yes, that's right, spring onions. Okay. So, what did the old man say? You take this seed and you plant it and you get a delicious new vegetable and you can make money. So, Anita said thank you to the old man. She took the seed and she went back home. Next day, early in the morning, she planted the seed. And within 1 month, the seed started growing. It became a creeper and green beans started sprouting. And now Anita's hands could only reach it when she stood on her toes. Now the vegetable was new. It was delicious. People started buying her vegetables and she was able to sell a repairing her house which was leaking during the monsoon. तो जो थोड़े से पैसे मिले थे उसने अपने घर की क्या की मरम्मत करा दी. राइट, हिंदी में उसे क्या कहते हैं? घर की मरम्मत करा दी. She did the repairs of her house. Now ये जो जग्गू दादा थे ना, जग्गू दादा, not जग्गू दादा of the Hindi movies. You know who is Jaggu Dada? Do you know who is Jaggu Dada? No.
No, ma'am.
Do you know who
No,
is
ma'am.
Jaggu Dada? Do you know who is
No,
Jaggu
ma'am.
Dada, Lisa?
Yeah. Yes, Jackie Shroff.
Oh, Jackie Shroff.
And you know his son, Tiger Shroff?
So
Children must be knowing Tiger Shroff.
Yes,
His
yes,
father,
Tiger
Jackie Shroff.
right. तो ये हमारे ज़माने के है ना, नीज़ा
So Tiger Shroff's father, Jackie Shroff, is known as Jaggu Dada.
Okay, तो जग्गू दादा क्यों कहते हैं उनको? क्योंकि ना he used to stay in a little place in Mumbai and he was literally like the dada of that place, so they used to call him Jaggu Dada. Okay, so now this is not Jaggu Dada, this is just Jaggu. So lazy Jaggu became very curious. ये नए beans जो है वो इतने लंबे लंबे कैसे grow हो रहे हैं? So he used to get up early and not to help his wife, but he wanted to see how tall that beanstalk was growing. So he says, "How tall do you think the stalk is?" He asked Anita. Anita said, "मुझे क्या पता? I don't know. I am not interested in the height of the beanstalk. I just get enough beans. I take them to the market. I sell them. मुझे पैसे मिलते हैं. मुझे उसी से मतलब है. That's it. No more." So Jaggu said, "But listen, na. Why don't you go to that old man? Tell him to give you some more seeds. There are no seeds in these beans. If the old man gives you some more, हम और भी डालेंगे, और भी उगेंगे, और पैसा मिलेगा. We'll get more rich." So she says, "Jaggu, listen. I am happy with what I have. Don't be greedy. We have enough. बहुत कुछ है हमारे पास." So Jaggu gave up on her and went in search of the old man. वो जो बूढ़ा आदमी था ना, उनकी कहाँ गया? उन्हें ढूंढने गया. So the day Anita had brought the seed home, she had told him, "Jaggu, पता है वहाँ जब भी मैं मंडी से आ रही थी ना, वहाँ रास्ते में एक छोटा सा पेट्रोल पंप था. पेट्रोल पंप के बगल में एक छोटा सा घर है. वहाँ मैं ये बूढ़े आदमी से मिली थी." So he remembered that. He says, "Let me go to that old man's house and I will ask him for some seeds." So he said, "अरे जब भी वो घर पहुँचा वहाँ, तो घर पे तो कोई नहीं था. अंदर तो it was empty." So he said, "Perhaps I should climb up the beanstalk and see how far it goes. But I can't do it when Anita is at home. I can't do that." So he came back home and one day he waited कि तब Anita निकले घर से बाहर and then I can climb up the beanstalk. So the moment she left, he started climbing. Come on everyone, can you show me how to climb the beanstalk? थोड़ा सा मुझे दिखाइए please ना. थोड़ा सा. Come on, let's climb the beanstalk. Climb, 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 climb as high as you can, as high as you can, as high as you can. And घंटे लग गए to climb the beanstalk. And finally, he saw a house in the clouds. आकाश में उसे एक छोटा सा घर दिखा. And the door was closed. तो उसने घर पे दरवाजा खटखटाया. चलो please knock the door everyone for me. Can everyone knock the door? Knock the door.
Yes, ma'am.
And then a man's voice said,
No.
"Who is it? Why have you come here? Who is it?" So the Jaggu said, "Sir, मैं ना अनीता का पति हूँ. I am Anita's husband, Jaggu." So the man said, "Okay, what do you want?" So Jaggu thought, should I ask the man? Should I ask him for more beans? But more beans मुझे अगर मिलेंगे, that means I'll have to work hard. No. I will straight away ask him for money. सीधा मांग लेता हूँ पैसा. So he said, "Sir, I want money. Money." So the voice said, "Okay, now go away. You'll get the money when you reach home." So Jaggu went back to the beanstalk, climbed all the way down to the bottom. Come on, now we are coming down the beanstalk. अब पहले हम ऊपर चढ़े थे, अभी हम नीचे उतरेंगे. धीरे, okay, धीरे, slowly. You won't fall, right? Okay, come down. पहुंच गए नीचे, पहुंच गए. पहुंच गए. He entered his house. And what did he see? अरे इतना बड़ा डब्बा था, उसमें इतने सारे पैसे. It was overflowing with money. And suddenly he thought, अरे मैंने गलती कर ली. I asked for money. I should have asked for gold coins. अगर मैं सोने के सिक्के मांगता तो और अच्छा होता. So now, सर अनीता को घर वापस आ गई. What had happened that day? Then he managed to use the money for a few days, and then he said, "चलो, मैं फिर से ऊपर चढ़ता हूँ, and I'll go and ask the man for gold coins." But soon he changed his mind. He says, "ना, सोने के सिक्के से क्या होगा? No, I want to be the richest man in the whole village. That is the best way to trick the man who lives up there." So the next time Anita जब मंडी गई, Jaggu again climbed the beanstalk. Chalo ji, climb the beanstalk quickly. Climb. Now you already have climbed once, so you know how to do it fast, right? Jaldi. Okay, ऊपर पहुंच के. And he reached the top, and he came to that house in the clouds, and again he knocked at the door. And the man said, "Who is it? Why have you come here?" "Sir, मैं हूँ जग्गू, अनीता का पति." "What do you want?" "Sir, last time you gave me the money, right? So now I want to be the richest person in the whole village. मुझे सबसे, give me the Hindi word, अमीर आदमी बनना है." The voice said, "Okay, now you go away and don't come here again." So what did he do? He climbed down the beanstalk. Chalo ji, climb down quickly, come down the beanstalk quickly. Reached home, and he came back home. He says, "Anita, do you know what has happened? मैं ना ऊपर चढ़ा था. I met that man, and he has now told me he's going to make me the richest person in the village." Anita wasn't happy. She said, "Listen, Jaggu, I don't want to be part of all this. I don't want to use the money that you have received like this. You do what you want. जो करना है करो. मुझे उसमें मत खींचो. मुझे मत घसीटो. I don't want to be part of this." So Jaggu was least bothered. He began wondering now, what should he do now that he was rich? So he began calling people to his house. "Hey, आओ जी आओ. हम आज पार्टी रखेंगे. दावत है हमारे घर में आइए." Anita refused to join in any of that. So one day, Jaggu ने एक रखी बड़ी सी party. People did not come because they said, हमें कहीं और जाना है. The king is coming to our village, so we're going to his palace for a dinner invitation. He says, अच्छा, अभी ये राजा के पास जाएंगे और मेरे घर नहीं आएंगे. That means the king is more powerful than somebody who is rich. I'll go back to that man and I'll tell him that I want to be the most powerful man. So the next time Anita went out, Jaggu again climbed up the beanstalk. "Chalo ji, chalo, jaldi chalo, ऊपर चलो. पहुंच जाओ, ऊपर पहुंच जाओ. Okay. He reached the house, the door was closed, and again he knocked. His voice said, "Who is it? Why have you come here again? फिर से आ गए तुम?" I said, "हाँ सर, मैं अनीता का पति हूँ, जग्गू." "What do you want?" "Sir, I want to become the most powerful king in the whole land." So the man said, "Okay, now go away and don't come here again. बहुत हो गया." Jaggu's wish was granted, and he became the most powerful king in the land. Anita said, "Sorry, Jaggu, मैं रानी नहीं बनने वाली. I don't want to be the queen." And she continued growing and selling the beans. One day Jaggu said, "You know what, Anita, we have so much money कि हमारे 7 पुश्ते can live on this money. Why are you working so hard? इतना काम क्यों कर रही हो? अरे थोड़ा सा आराम करो अभी घर पे." So Anita knew that Jaggu's greed and lazy nature would make him pay a price. तभी वो एकदम ऊपर जो बैठा था वो नीचे गिर जाएगा. So she said, "Listen, your status जो आपको नाम मिला है ना, you have earned it through magic, and I have become whatever money I have earned, I have done it through my hard work." So Jaggu shook his head and said, "Anita, you'll never understand me. Children, I want everyone to be mute, right? When the story is happening, please. Thank you." So one day, Jaggu went to meet the emperor. Now, you know, king के ऊपर कौन होता है? Emperor. So the minister said,
Controls like 10 kings. One emperor can control 10 kings.
okay, Parth, 1 minute. So the minister said, wait, the emperors cannot meet you right now. So Jaggu says, क्यों? क्या कर रहे हैं वो? What is he doing? So he says, what kind of a question is that? He is praying. He is performing a puja. वो मंदिर में है. तो जग्गू ने कहा, अच्छा, वो रोज पूजा करते हैं? Does he do this every day? He says, yes, every morning. Do you know, God is the most powerful of all. And everyone has to bow down to him. सब भगवान जी के सामने नमन करते हैं. So he says, अच्छा, that means the emperor must also bow down in front of God. तो क्यों ना मैं ही भगवान बन जाऊं? जग्गू ने सोचा, क्यों ना मैं ही भगवान बन जाऊं? Why don't I become God? So the next night, Anita went out. She again climbed up the beanstalk. Climb quickly. Let's reach the top and knock at the door. And finally, the man's voice. Now that man was fed up of Jaggu. He says, "Who is it? Why have you come here again?" She says, "Hey, sir, Anita का पति, आपको याद नहीं है? I'm Jaggu. What do you want again? Haven't I given you enough?" Oh, sir, I promise you I will not come again if you make me God. I want to become God. Please, sir, एक बार मुझे बस भगवान बना दीजिए, फिर मैं आपके पास दोबारा कभी नहीं आऊंगा. And the voice laughed happily. Jaggu, God is everywhere. He is everywhere in the universe. He is kind, he is compassionate, and somebody can only become God by doing good work. You are a greedy man. You are a lazy fellow, and I have had it with your wishes. You deserve nothing. तुम्हें कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. And what did Jaggu feel? पीछे से उसे लगा कि किसी ने उसे लात मारी. Oh, and he fell down. He fell down straight from the clouds. And he landed on his back in the front yard of his small house. वो अपने घर के आंगन में नीचे गिर पड़ा. अनीता, मैं गिर गया. मुझे चोट लगी. अनीता बचाओ. And what happened? That beautiful beanstalk disappeared, and what remained were only the shrubs where the beans that Anita had grown. Jaggu went inside, and Anita said, "अरे जग्गू, ये क्या हालत बना दी तुमने? पर कपड़े फटे हैं, चोट लगी है, सर पे भी चोट, पीछे भी चोट. क्या कर रहे थे? What were you doing? Did somebody beat you up? कोई चोर मिला था रास्ते में?" ना अनीता, कितने सवाल तुम पूछती हो? चुप रहो. मुझे दर्द हो रहा है. थोड़ा सा मलहम पट्टी तो कर दो. So what did Jaggu do? He told her the entire story. And Anita said, "You deserve this. When you don't work hard for your living, जब ये आप काम नहीं करते हो ना, you will never value what you receive in life." Aryan, wait, please be mute. Thank you. And you have forgotten, Jaggu, that we are farmers. Our duty is to farm and enjoy what we have grown. हमारी यही चीज है. God has taught you a lesson. भगवान ने तुम्हें सबक सिखाया है. Now listen, you forget the past and you come to me. I will look after you. मैं मरम पट्टी करूंगी. But remember, God is kind. He has given us seeds so we can replicate them and continue to earn enough money. So then Anita opened a little box. उसने ना बहुत सारे पैसे इकट्ठा करके रखे थे छोटे से डिब्बे में. She said, "Listen, this is all that I have saved. Let's use this money to work hard and plant more bean shrubs. It is God's gift to us, and as long as we take care of it, सब कुछ अच्छा होगा." So now Jaggu became a changed person. He and his wife Anita, they grew a lot of beans, and they now led a very happy life. And even today, beans grow in small shrubs and not in bean stalks that reach the sky. So Anushka said, "Aji, wow, is that really why the beans grow in shrubs. So Ajji says, well, nobody knows for sure, but I always believe this story to be true. So Meenu said, Ajji, from now on, the beans is my favorite vegetable. And Ajji patted her on her head, and that is the end of the first story. So, किसको beans की सब्जी अच्छी लगती है बता दो. Lots of hands going up.
Ma'am, I like.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I like. Ma'am, I like beans. I like beans.
I got your answer. So, Teresa, that means that our children like to eat beans. They like to eat vegetables.
Yes, ma'am, I like beans.
किसको भिंडी अच्छी लगती है? Who likes भिंडी?
Ma'am, it is my favorite. Ma'am, it is my favorite.
I like.
Okay, let's be mute back. So, next story coming up. Ajja, let's say. The next story is called The Case of the Mystery Pot. The Case of the Mystery Pot. Shiraz ma'am is going to request everyone, please be mute. Okay?
Ma'am?
Thank you. Okay, so one morning.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, you have a question. Yes, please.
मैम जो आप अभी मिस्ट्री बॉक्स वाली स्टोरी सुना रहे हो वो मैम अलग है स्टोरी.
This is called Mystery Pot. Yes. If you can see this book, children, it has many different stories, okay? So the next story is called The Case of the Mystery Pot. P-O-T. Pot, जिसमें आप खाना बनाते हो, जिसमें पानी भर के रखते हो, वो, ठीक है? Okay. So one day, Ajji was making pulao. अरे वाह! Chicken pulao, mutton pulao, vegetable pulao, जीरा pulao, इतने सारे पुलाव बनते हैं, कश्मीरी पुलाव, है ना? You make different kinds of pulaus at home. So everyone's favorite was pulao. So after some time, Ajji came out of the kitchen and she says, "Arey, I am going with Kamlu to look at the cows. We have to feed the animals also, है ना? हमें उनको गाय को भी तो चारा देना है. So kids, I finished cooking. But listen, ये जो pressure cooker है ना, इसको हाथ मत लगाना. Let it settle down. Let it cool down on its own, and then we will have lunch. You've seen a pressure cooker in the kitchen, right? A pressure cooker के ऊपर क्या होता है? What do you have on top? What is it called?
मैम vessel.
Yes,
Vessel.
Ma'am, see.
Ma'am, it is known as vessel.
Vessel नहीं जी, whistle. Okay.
Ma'am, whistle.
Okay. So now the children says, हाँ Ajji, and Ajji left. So Raghu said, hey, मुझे बताओ ये vegetable rice को पुलाव क्यों कहते हैं? So Ajja said, you know, there is a story behind this. Pulao came from a country called Uzbekistan. Okay? And usually at that time, जो सब्जियां बचती थी ना, all the leftover vegetables, they would be mixed along with rice and some masala. They would be cooked over a slow fire in a big earthen pot. And this was done to give to the soldiers because they needed healthy food and they needed very little oil. When you cook in a clay pot, you don't need too much oil. And when you cook in a clay pot, you know what is done? आपने कभी दम बिरयानी खाई हुई है? दम बिरयानी. You know what is dum biryani? Yes. Okay, I'll tell you. So you put a plate and then you cover that plate with atta. You cover it with atta and let the food in that pot cooks on a very low flame. Okay? And then when you remove that lid and the atta, the pulao from that clay pot is... Can you give me a word for this when I do this? Come on. Let's see how good you're going to have.
Delicious.
Fragrant.
Delicious.
1 minute. I heard the right word. Who said fragrant?
Mama.
Who is the I? Who is the I?
Ma'am with Uttarakhand.
Yes, Vidoshan. Very good. The perfect word that I was looking for is fragrant. F-R-A-G-R-A-N-T. Perfect. So, all this conversation was happening and Ajja saw, ये आदित्य और नीलू कहाँ चले गए? They're not to be seen. And he went looking for the two girls. और आदित्य और नीलू कहाँ थे? They were feeling very hungry. Now, can you give me another word for feeling very, very, very hungry? जब भी आपको बहुत ज़्यादा भूख लगी है. I'm looking for a word that starts.
Starving.
No,
Starving.
I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. Hold on. The word starts with R. R. It starts with R. Come on. When you're feeling very hungry, it means भूख लगी कि आपको पेट में चूहे दौड़ रहे. What is that word?
Ma'am, rats are running in a tummy.
Yes, rats are running. But I'm looking for only one word, children, not a full sentence. One word. It starts with R and ends in S. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm sure you can answer. R-A-V. Come on, I've given you so many letters. R-A-V. Rave. Ravenous. That's right. Ravenous. Okay. So you're feeling ravenous. Now, so what happened to Meenu and Aditi? They couldn't resist. उनको इतनी अच्छी खुशबू आ रही थी पुलाव की किचन में से that they went into the kitchen. And Aditi said, children, there are some people muting and I cannot have that in the session. Please, please. Can everyone please be muted? Thank you.
Children, everyone, please mute yourselves. Please mute.
Thank you. So, Aditi said, listen, no, इसको हाथ मत लगाना. Ajji said not to open the lid. Arey, Aditi, don't be scared. We will only open the lid just a little. थोड़ा सा खोलेंगे, कुछ नहीं होगा. When Meenu opened the lid of that pressure cooker, there was a loud boom! They tried to run out of the kitchen and then they both slipped. Ajja heard the noise and said, Meenu, Aditi, क्या हुआ? क्या देखा? The cooker was whistling. You know, you heard the whistling of the cooker? And they found that that nozzle of the pressure cooker had fallen off. He put it back on the cooker. Then he reached up. Aditi, haath de do, utho. Meenu, haath de do, utho. And Aditi said, Ajja, we just wanted to open the cooker just a little bit. But don't worry, Ajja. Hum to theek hai. We are fine. Nothing has happened to us. And then Ajja said, curiosity kills the cat. Let me tell you a story about curiosity killed the cat. You know the meaning of curiosity? Who can answer? Not Vidushi, please. Vidushi has answered too many questions. Let the others also get a chance. Just a minute. Hold on. Parth, please wait it up. You know, there are at least 29 children here, and I want the others also to get a chance, okay? So, Parth, please be patient. I am going to look at Arshia Sukhija, or maybe Saksham, or maybe Prabha. Okay, any of you can answer my question. Yes, what is the meaning of curiosity? Yes? Any one of you, the names that I've taken? Anyone? Yes, Archana Sharma wants to.
Can I, Lakshita?
Can I tell?
Okay, Lakshita. All right, Lakshita. Yes, Lakshita. Yes?
Yes, ma'am, it means to be very excited.
To be excited?
Or to
No. Curious.
Ma'am, can I tell?
Get excited.
Okay.
I'm interested.
When we are excited.
Can I answer?
Hold on, children, hold on. If everyone speaks together, we cannot hear anyone. Okay? So Arsha Sukhija can answer. Only Arsha Sukhija. Yes, what is curiosity?
To be excited to know something.
To be excited to know something. Okay, yes, you're close. You want to find out more. You're very curious. आपको इतनी जिज्ञासा हो रही कि आपको किसी ने बताया हुआ कि देखो इस चीज को हाथ मत लगाना, ये डिब्बे को मत खोलना, पर आप सोचते हो मम्मा ने क्यों मुझे कहा ये डिब्बे को मत खोलना? अरे मैं थोड़ा सा खोल दूंगी. 1 minute. Just
Mama, desire.
okay.
Ma'am, too eager to know something.
1 minute, children. When Shiraz ma'am is speaking, I would really request everyone just to listen. Then I'll give you a chance again to speak. Because when we all speak together, पता है क्या बन जाती है? मछली market, fish market. Are we in a fish market? No. So let me speak first, and then I'll give you a chance again. Okay? So जब भी मम्मा कहती है कि ये डिब्बे को हाथ मत लगाना, तो आप सोचती मम्मा ने क्यों कहा? इसमें कुछ है ना. जब मम्मा नहीं होंगे तो मैं थोड़ा सा खोल दूंगा. अरे मम्मा को पता भी नहीं लगेगा कि मैंने खोला हुआ डिब्बा. What is that called? Curiosity. तो जब भी आप कोई चीज किसी को मना करते तो मत करो, तभी आपको और जिज्ञासा होती. ना 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 मैं देखती. That is called curiosity. But now there is another meaning of curiosity also. That is when you are very curious to learn about new things. That is when your teacher tells you, let's look for a new country, the smallest country in the whole world. And
Vatican City.
Vatican City, yes, I know. Thank you for the answer. And you start researching and you want to know more, and then you say, hey, अच्छा, Vatican City is the smallest country, लेकिन उसके थोड़ा सा बड़ा कौन सा country है? Then you're curious to know more, right? So that is also called curiosity. Desire to know more, desire to learn more. Okay, so let's come to the story again. So Ajja said, अभी मैं आपको कहानी सुनाता हूँ about curiosity. So long ago, there lived a very wise king, Raja tha, and one day he went hunting all alone. And when he was on his way back, फिर से हमारी स्टोरी में क्या हुआ? बारिश शुरू हो गई. ये बारिश का मौसम होगा जब ये सारी कहानियां लिखी होगी. So the king found a dry spot in the veranda of a small hut which belonged to a very poor woodcutter. Who is a woodcutter? जो लकड़ी काटता है, and his wife. So the king waited outside. Yes, and he heard the conversation between the old woodcutter and his wife. The wife said, देखो जी, ये हमारा घर इतना पुराना हो गया है, अभी टूट रहा है. We have no food to eat. We are shivering. There is no point in trying to find any work. Who will give us the job? हम इतने बूढ़े हो गए. Think of our king. हमारे राजा को देखो, अपने दरबार में बैठे हैं. He has clean, warm clothes. He has fabulous food every day. I wish we had that. So the woodcutter said, "Wait, don't worry. देखो ना, हम दोनों साथ में तो हैं. At least we are together." And he tried to make his wife feel better. I am looking for a word, children, which means to make someone feel better. It starts with C and ends in E. Who can give me that word?
Ma'am, can I comfortable?
Okay, one minute. Somebody else who is new, who is not answered at all. Please, Prabhav Sharma. Yes, Prabhav Sharma.
Ma'am, comfortable.
No. When you make someone feel better. देखो एक और चीज होती है.
Can I give?
Yes, who is that? Who is that? Can I give? Who says that?
Ma'am, Jia.
Okay, yes, please. Jia, answer.
Ma'am, care.
Care? No. Okay, I'll give you another clue. Listen to my clue. So, 1 minute. अगर किसी के घर में death हो गई है, somebody has passed away, and people come to your house and they say, मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ, ये आपके साथ ऐसे हो गया, I'm feeling very bad. Don't worry, everything will be okay. If you need any help, you can ask me. What are you doing? Can you give me the word now?
Ma'am, study.
Console. Very good. Who said that? Console. Yes, good. Console. Console. So he consoled his wife. Oh, हम दोनों साथ में तो है ना? We're together. We will do the best we can. So the king couldn't wait. He knocked on the door, and the couple, उन्होंने दरवाजा खोला. राजा जी, आप हैं? And the king said, "Yes, I heard your conversation. I promise you, you will get warm clothes, you will get good food. You want to come to the palace and stay with me? आप दोनों मेरे साथ रहोगे?" And the couple said, जी महाराज, हम आपके साथ रहेंगे जरूर. So the king says, okay, but on one condition, you have to obey me. The day you don't listen to me, you will come back to your hut. So he said, Maharaj, if we get good food, if we get warm clothes, and if we get a place to stay, I think we will never ask you any questions. So the king says, जी महाराज, हम तो आपकी कुछ नहीं पूछेंगे. So the king said, okay, lock your house and come with me. The rain has stopped. We're going to stay in my palace. So the wife locked the house, put the key away into her little pocket. ऐसे सारे के ग्लास में अंदर डाल दी, and the couple went to the king's palace. After walking for a very, very long time, they reached there, and the king told his servants, take care of this old man and his wife, and look after them well. The king left. The couple was now alone in their little room. The servant set them up. They were given silk clothes. They had warm food on the table. They had a warm bath, and they were about to sit down for dinner. When the king said, अच्छा लगा, कमरा अच्छा लगा. Did you like the room? Is it warm? ठंड तो नहीं लग रही है? ना, Maharaj, we could not have dreamt of such a beautiful house. So, this is Maharaj ji. हम तो बहुत खुश हैं. So the king said, good. You can eat whatever you want, whatever you wish. But remember, ये कमरे में एक कोने में there is a small pot. You must never open this pot. The day you open the pot, you will have to go back to your house. Is that clear? So he said, Maharaj, हमें क्या जरूरत है इसे हाथ लगाने की? We are very happy over here. Thank you. So the king chatted and then he left the room. At first, the first few days, the couple were thrilled. Arey wow, there are such big gardens. They would take walks over there. They would have delicious meals. They would have delicious fruits. And they used to look at the flowers. Garden में बैठ कर लेटते थे, चलते थे. After a few weeks, the lady said, "Hey, सुनो, ये जो घड़ा है ना कोने में, इसमें क्या होगा? मुझे देखना है. I want to see what is inside the pot." So the man said, "Listen, my dear wife, how does it matter? क्या फर्क पड़ता है इसमें है क्या है क्या नहीं है? Do your work." She says, सुनो जी, मुझे ना पता लगाना है ये स्पॉट में क्या है. I'm very curious to know what is inside. Husband said, हाथ मत लगाना. सुना है ना दादाजी ने क्या कहा, हाथ नहीं लगाना. So she said, थोड़ा सा देख लेती हूँ ना, किसी को पता भी नहीं लगेगा. I just lift it a little bit and look inside. So he says, मेरी पत्नी जी, I have given my word to the king. Follow it. Now the wife became very unhappy. हर रोज वो खाना कम खाती थी, बातें कम करती थी, and she was thinking, ये अंदर क्या है इसमें? I want to see what is inside the pot. Then she began fighting with her husband. मुझे जानना है, मुझे खोलना है. And the king would come to the room every day, and he was wondering, ये दोनों खुश क्यों नहीं लग रहे? Why are these two not looking happy? So one day, while talking to the servant, the woodcutter's wife heard that the king had gone to the forest. वो hunting करने गए थे, and he was going to come back only after one day. So she went to her husband and says, सुनो जी, राजा जी ना जंगल में गए हुए, आज हम इसको हाथ लगाकर थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं. Let's look inside the pot. I'll peep into it. थोड़ा सा. No one will ever know. So he said, what is the point of all this? We will know. Why should we not obey the king? He has been so kind to us. We have no reason to do this. And the wife says, no, मुझे जानना है. इसमें अंदर क्या है? मुझे जानना है. So finally he said, okay, let's lift the lid of the pot. Come on, everyone. Let's lift the lid.
Bye.
There was smoke coming out of the pot all of a sudden, and the woodcutter dropped the lid. Within seconds, the servant came running inside, and he knew what had happened. उन्होंने pot को खोल लिया था. The king also came, and he said, you did not obey me. Remember one thing. An idle person has nothing to do. जो काम के बिना बैठा हुआ होता है, वो सोचता रहता है और क्या करूं. So, which raises their curiosity about matters that don't concern them. What does the king say? Listen to this sentence. The king said, an idle person has nothing to do. जिसके पास कोई काम नहीं है वो, इसका दिमाग क्या चलता है? और चीजों में चलता है, which don't really matter to him. And he looked at the wife. You have the key to your hut. चाबी है ना आपके पास? I will give you some food. I will give you some fruits to last you for some time. You go back to your home, look for some work that will keep you healthy and happy. So this is how that old woodcutter and his wife, their curiosity killed their beautiful, comfortable, luxurious life that they were leading in the king's palace. सब कुछ दोबारा वैसे ही हो गया. They had to come back to their little hut and to their life, which was not very, very happy earlier on. So, Neenu said, so Ajja, does that mean that we should not be curious at all and not listen to others? So Ajja says, no, Neenu, I never said that. मैंने ये नहीं कहा कि don't be curious. Curiosity in the right direction makes you do different things. It makes you invent. It makes you find out about life. But if it is in the wrong direction, it can hurt people and it can hurt you also. And if you are curious about other people's lives, what are you doing? You are intruding into their privacy. Now, this is a big word. What does it mean to intrude into somebody's privacy? Very often, हमारे country में ना everybody wants to know कि you meet somebody, अरे शादी कब करोगे? तुम इतनी बड़ी हो गई, शादी कब होगी? And so, how does it matter to you when I am going to get married? Then when you get married, they say, अरे बच्चा कब करने वाले हो? When are you going to have a baby? And you say, it's my life. I'll have a baby when I want, right? So this kind of questions, what are you doing? You are intruding into somebody's private life. हमेशा एक चीज होती है ना, when you have somebody's purse and somebody's letters, एक चीज हमेशा याद रखना चाहिए. This is a message for all of you. Never ever read somebody's private diary, somebody's private letters, and never open anybody's wallet or purse. Because these things are very, very private. Oh, that is yours, right? Nobody needs to know. And they also say, never ask two things to anyone, especially a woman. Never ask the woman her age, and never ask anyone, how much do you earn? ये हमारे country में हमेशा पूछते हैं, कितना कमाते हो तुम? कितनी तनख्वाह है तुम्हारी? And my answer would be, very often people have asked me, Shiraz ma'am, what's your salary? So I would say, enough to keep me happy. That is a way of answering. Enough to keep me happy. So remember this, children. Curiosity in a good way is wonderful. But curiosity in the negative way, it can hurt somebody, and you should not ask anyone questions that are private. Okay? So, we've done 2 stories of Sudhamurti. Now I'm going to switch a little bit. And I'm going to talk about something that is happening tomorrow. What is the date tomorrow, children? What is the date tomorrow?
24th January.
24th January. 24th January.
Okay, so 20.
Tomorrow is 24th January.
All right, thank you. We got the date. Now, next question. Hold on, next question. What is it that our country is going to celebrate tomorrow? What are we going to celebrate tomorrow? Tomorrow. And today also is a very special day. Today is a special day. Tomorrow is a special day.
It's the birth anniversary of Subhash. Tomorrow we're going to celebrate Sunday.
No, 1 minute. Hold on. Let's do it one by one. Okay, one by one. So, the first question was, what is it tomorrow? What are we celebrating tomorrow? Tomorrow is, I'll tell you, there are lots of you sitting over here. That word is a 4-letter word. It starts with G and ends in L. Starts with G and ends with L, and there are a lot of you sitting over here. What is the word? It's a four-letter word, starts with G, ends in L. So simple. I am that too. Girl. That's right. Tomorrow is Girl Child Day. Okay. What is it today? Parth was telling us, what is it today?
Chandra Bose birth anniversary, 28.
How many years? How many years? Good answer. How many years?
26.
125. 125th birth anniversary. So today's a special day, tomorrow's a special day, and next week we have another special day coming up. Another special
Republic Day.
Ma'am, Republic Day.
Ma'am, Republic Day. Ma'am, Republic Day.
Ma'am, Republic Day.
Nisa ma'am, can we mute everyone, please? You've got the control. Nisa ma'am, please mute everyone. Okay, thank you. So, what happens on National Girl Child Day? Let's talk about that. And why are girls so important in our lives? I'm going to tell you some stories, real stories today about, 1 minute please, about Parth. Please be mute now. Thank you. I'm telling real stories about girls in our country who have fought for their rights. You see, what happens is, very often, whenever a woman gives birth to a child, the family says, "अरे वाह, लड्डू बाटो बेटा हुआ," है ना? लेकिन जब बेटी होती है, when a girl is born, the family says, "अच्छा, फिर से लड़की हुई," right? Very often that happens, especially in our country. Why does that happen? Because families feel that the boy is able to carry the family name on. The girl is going to get married and leave. And जब भी girl होती है, उसको पढ़ाना है, उसकी शादी करनी है, उसको बहुत कुछ देना है. So you feel that having a girl is not helpful. वो क्या हमारा हाथ बटाएगी? How is she going to help us?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I say something?
1 minute, just 1 minute. I'll give all of you a chance to speak. Can I finish for 1 minute, please? Thank you. Okay, let's follow some rules while we have this story session. You follow the rules while you have a school meeting also, don't you? You wait for your turn to speak, right? Okay, so just wait. So now, when a girl child is born, some families are not happy. लेकिन there are some families who say, अरे वाह, लड़की हुई है, हमारे घर में तो लक्ष्मी आई है, right? She is the one who brings the happiness, the joy into our lives. So I'm going to tell you a story about many girls who have done wonderful things at a very young age. Okay, they are called child prodigies. Please look at this word. I'm going to show it to you on my screen. If everyone can see it, can you see it on my screen? It's called prodigy. Prodigy. Now, this is a prodigy. A prodigy is someone who is able to do things that most people cannot do at that particular age. So let me tell you of a girl. She's called the Google girl. Her name is Adya Gupta. She's called the Google girl. Why is she called the Google girl? She, in a matter of minutes, is able to tell you all the capitals of the different states of India. She's able to say all the names of the countries of the world from A to Z. And she's only 6 years old. She's from Delhi. She's called Adya Gupta, the Google girl. Okay? Then I'm going to tell you about a girl called Sushma Verma. She could recite the whole Ramayana in her school when she was only 2 years old. And she became the youngest person to finish class 10. She did her master's. She got an MSc degree at 15. 15 साल में postgraduate degree मिल गई. So she's quite amazing. Okay, she's a child prodigy. Then I'll tell you about a girl called Malavat Purna. Have you heard of Malavat Purna? You must have seen the movie Purna. Yes, Reba Jain? Yes? Have you seen the movie Purna? Anyone seen the movie Purna, climbing Mount Everest? No? She was the youngest girl to climb Mount Everest. Her name was Palavat Purna. She was only 13 years, 11 months old. Okay? Then you have a lady called Shakuntala. You heard of Shakuntala, the human computer?
Shakuntala Devi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
She was so good at math. She
Calculations.
Yes, that's right.
The computer
Ma'am, भी बनी है मैम शकुंतला
So,
देवी पे.
when Shakuntala was a young girl, she when only okay, children listen now, please. She was only 3 years old when her father came up to her with a pack of cards. You know, you play cards, and she at 3 years could memorize. उसको सारे cards याद थे, and she started doing shows with her father. She was able to do amazing mathematical calculations at a very young age, right? Okay, so that is Shakuntala Devi. Then you have another girl called Anahat Singh. She is the youngest squash player. She's only 11 years old and she won all the championships. So there are lots and lots of girls who have done wonderful things, whether it's music, art, please just a minute, music, art, sports, all kinds of fields, they have done wonderful work. And now I'm going to talk about a young girl. Her name is Rekha Kalindi. Okay, all these stories are true stories, children. Okay, so remember, Rekha Kalindi lived in a small place called Barabola, which is near Kolkata. And she was part of a family, very poor family. And when her father came up to her and said, "Tumhari shaadi ho jane wali hai abhi. You're going to get married." You know how old she was? 11. सिर्फ 11 साल की लड़की थी. Who is 11 over here? Is there anybody who's 11? Arshia, Lakshita, you're 11. Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine suddenly if somebody from your family tells you that Lakshita तुम्हारी शादी होने वाली है? What will you say? Lakshita, what will you say if somebody tells you आज आपकी शादी होने वाली है? क्या बोलोगे आप लक्षिता बताओ? Tell me, Lakshita, what would you say? Yes?
Mama, I don't know.
You don't know? Come on, Arshia, what will you say if your father tells you, Arshia, you're going to get married in 6 months' time, तुम्हारी शादी होने वाली है? What will you say, Arshia?
I'm so small in this age.
Right, absolutely. So that is what Rekha Kalindi said. Pitaji, मैं इतनी छोटी हूँ. You got my sister married at 12. And look what has happened to her. She had 4 children and all of them died. This is not the age for me to get married. I want to study. मुझे पढ़ाई करनी है. And she fought and fought. And she went to school. And she started talking about this. And people found out. And because she fought, she even got a chance to meet the President of India at that time. She met Dr. Pratibha Patil and she had a conversation with her and she was given some kind of a prize for standing up for her rights. क्या किया रेखा कालिंदी ने? उसने कहा नहीं, मैं नहीं मानूंगी मेरे पिताजी की बात. I will not get married at such a young age. This is my time to study. So children, this day, National Girl Child Day, is for all young girls across our country to understand, number one, you are very special. Nobody can make you feel that you are not important. You are as good or even better, I would say, Niza ma'am. Do you agree? That we girls are as good or even better than the boys. We can do everything the boys can do and even better. So, more to girl power, and that is the reason why we celebrate National Girl Child Day, for you to gain the strength to say no when somebody asks you to do something that you don't want to do. Okay? So, we're going to end this session, children, by doing something interesting. Okay, yes, I will take your questions. I want you to bring out your sheets of paper. I want you to bring out your white sheets of paper and your crayons and your sketch pens, whatever you have with you, okay? And I want you to draw one picture, a very small picture from any of the stories that I told you. I told you 2 stories from Sudhamurthy, and I told you real life stories right now about Rekha Kalindi, about Shakuntala, the human computer, about Sushma Verma, about who else did I talk about? Adya Gupta. Who else?
But we have to send that pictures to the group.
Yes, you have to send that picture to the group. And you can also take a picture of yourself
Okay, ma'am.
looking at your laptop and listening. You can take a picture of that too and send it to the group, okay? So,
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes, okay, now I'll get you to speak. Okay, so Arshia wanted to speak and Lakshita wanted to speak. Yes, Arshia, what would you like to say?
Ma'am, there's a girl named Neerja Bhanot.
Yes,
She got Veerta Ashok Chakra.
that's right. And what did Neerja Bhanot do? Arshia, what did she do?
Ma'am, I saw a movie.
Yes,
Ma'am, can I tell?
she saved the lives of all those people on that aircraft, right? You remember?
Yes, ma'am.
The movie was called Neerja.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Lakshita, what did you want to say, Lakshita?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to say, ma'am, कि मैम जो आपने मैम पिक्चर बनाने के लिए हमें बोला है मैम हम कैसे बनाएंगे हम किसी की पिक्चर
आप सोचो, you can choose whatever you want. You can draw that beanstalk. You can draw that pot in the corner of the room. You can draw that pressure cooker. You can draw anything that you want. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever sticks with you, whatever